Hey, what's up? This is part two of when God moved. And so the first part, I talked about the multiple times that I heard God call my name out. We see this in the Bible where God will call people's name out, and I experienced that. Today we're going to talk about how God opens doors and shuts doors. And I've experienced that, and I'm going to tell stories about times when God opened and shut doors. And so let's see. I want to start off when I started church in 2022. No, in 2017. Yeah, it was 2017. I was 22 years old, and I just can't. I got to a point in my life where um, the Marine Corps. I was trying to get into the Marine Corps, and they told me, "Hey, we don't think you're going to be accepted into the Marine Corps." And so, being who I am, I thought, well, I got the money. I'm gonna go get me a little office space, and I'm gonna start a little church and see what happens. So that's what I did. I started a church because I thought that I wouldn't get accepted into the Marine Corps. So I started a little church, and it grew, and people were donating, and we got furniture, and everything was just amazing. And I saw people just kinda I didn't get no chance to see someone come to Christ, but I saw people's lives get changed in those 3 months, and I saw people get closer to God and all these good things. It was a great 3 months. One Sunday, one week, I forgot what day we were doing it on, like Sunday or Wednesday, or that's probably why I messed up because it wasn't Sunday. Yeah, that's what I went wrong on. I was doing it on Wednesdays. Yeah, there were so many things I messed up on that church plant. Um, but it was God was still doing something with it. But one week nobody showed up. The next week nobody showed up. And it just died. Just randomly died. And then right after it died, the Marine Corps reached out to me and said, "Hey, we got your paperwork accepted. Would you like to come and sworn into the armed forces next week?" And so I prayed about it for the whole week. God, do you want me to join the Marine Corps or continue to plant this church? And no kidding, God told me to join the Marine Corps. And that's crazy to think about because the people who become Marines of the armed forces, it's like a percentage of a percentage. Not just anyone can be a Marine. And so God was like, I want you to join the Marine Corps, Keith. Forget about the church. You did what I needed you to do. Go join the Marine Corps. And so I shut the church plant down and I joined the Marine Corps. So God shut the door. He opened it originally. He opened it. He caused it to do something and then he shut the door. And then he opened up another door. So I went from being a church planter to being a Marine. Kind of weird, but that's what happened. And 6 months later, I'm on the military base, and I was kind of bitter about the church dying. And so the last thing I wanted to do was start a Bible study. But this kid, that 19-year-old kid, he found out that I'm a preacher, and he's like, "Come on, Wes, we gotta start a Bible study. You're a preacher, and you can uh read the Bible and do this Bible study, and we can invite people and get this Bible study going." And I definitely did not want to do that. But this guy would not leave me alone, so I started a Bible study, and God opened the door. And When God opened that door, he was not joking around. A revival happened. And I could not believe, to this day, there was so many Marines just reading the Bible down in the lobby in the woman's barracks. It started in my barracks, and then it started traveling throughout the barracks for the man barracks, and then it went to the lobby, and then somehow the women found out that there was a Bible study going on, and it went over there to the and a big revival happened. So God was like, "Go join the Marine Corps, Keith," and I was like, "What? That don't make sense." And then 6 months later, a revival happens on a base. That was pretty cool. Another time that God shut a door on me was the whole New Jersey thing. You know, I all throughout high school, I thought that God was calling me to go to New Jersey to preach the gospel in all of the Northeast. And I bought the plane ticket, and I was ready to go, and everything was lined up perfectly. I even got a approval to buy a house over there, and I was like 18 years old, and I had a approval to buy a house, a job lined up. Everything was like perfect. And then right at the last minute, it all fell apart. And I was just like, God, what happened? And then about 6 years later, I found myself in a layover plane flight. It landed in New Jersey. And so I got to New Jersey for like 30 minutes, got onto another plane flight, and then I saw New York City from the plane. And as I was looking at New York City, I could feel God saying, "This is what I meant, Keith, that you're going to be in New Jersey and look at New York." God and his humor. God and his humor. Um, Another time when God shut the door and opened the door, it has to do with Wisconsin. So whenever I first got called by God to go to Wisconsin, I was applying for a job, for multiple jobs. I was applying for jobs all over Green Bay and Milwaukee. I was sending my resume in on Indeed, and nobody was calling me. And I could never find a job. And then I was making plans. I was like making these plans to drive up to Green Bay, drive up to Milwaukee, and see if I can do Uber. But then my plans fell apart. And so I knew God was calling me to do this and to go to Wisconsin. But every time I would make plans and try to go and do what God was calling me to do, it was like the door was shut. And I was just confused. I was like, God, you called me to do this, and I'm trying to do what you told me to do, and it's not working. And then I just gave up and said, "Oh, maybe God didn't call me. Maybe I'm wrong." I gave up. And then a few months later, that's when I met the woman that lived in Wisconsin, and we started dating, and I found out she was from some small town in north Wisconsin. And I was praying to God saying, "If you send me to Wisconsin, God, don't send me to that city. I don't want to live over there." And God had other plans, and he sent me here, and I'm telling you, when I was trying to move to Wisconsin, Green Bay, and Milwaukee, all the doors were not open. I could not get any of the doors to open. I could never find a job. I could never, drive up here. If I tried to drive up here, I end up getting in a car wreck, and my car is like getting repair. But then whenever I met that woman, and then Phillips, Wisconsin came, into my my view and my sight, and I came up. Like God opened the door and got me up here, and then when I came up here, I just kind of automatically had a place to live because of the woman that I was dating and her family. They had a bunch of land and a cabin, and so I kind of already God already provided a place for me to live, and then a job. I applied for one company, only one company up here. And that one company called me back and offered me a management position. So he provided the job, he provided the place to live. Like it was so easy and scary. But he opened the door. I just wasn't expecting the door to be opened up in Northwest Wisconsin. I thought that I was going to be in Green Bay or some big city, not some small town. This town that I'm in right now has like 300 people in it. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas has millions of people in it. Like 300 people is like the size of the unit I was with. And crazy moments in life. And then but those are the main ways God just kind of opened the door. I have other things that God did. He opened the door. Um but he does that. He'll open doors, he'll shut doors, he'll call us to do something, and then we're trying to open the door and we're like, God, you told me to do this, and but he has a whole nother idea, a whole nother mindset, a whole nother, his ways are higher than our ways, and I experienced that. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. I experienced that, and so I share this because I want people to understand God is still at work. Don't give up. Continue to pursue Him. If God is telling you to do something and you're like, well, I don't understand because I'm trying to do what God told me to do, but it doesn't seem to work out perfectly. Just keep trusting Him. In the right time, at the right moment, everything just falls into place. I promise you. If God is leading you to do something, it will fall into place. God does not lie. He likes to joke around, like telling me all throughout high school that I'm gonna go into Jersey and see New York with my eyes. And come to find out it was a 30-minute layover flight. God loves to joke around like that, but he does not lie. He will fulfill the plans he has for you. And in the process, he might just do something funny just so you can laugh at it later on. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next When God Moves video. The next one will be signs and wonders, the moments and that I've seen God move in ways that I don't even fully understand.